Hello everyone, and what is going on? Hyperion-Blue-GT here. It is the final week in the USB Tour Cities on Motorplex Episode 1 in the 8th season, as we're about to be entered for week number 8 in Brawn vs Beauty as a rerun for the live summit event in the Crew 2. This team summit is all about Ford and Ferraris are about to be raced up to each other in a series of street racing and pro racing disciplines in 6 events, and 3 skills by the exception will go by the land, sea, and air. So word on the street about for having the next part of the episode in Season 8 will be entered and take on with the USB Tour Next will be racing with Alpha Grand Prix. And there is also to have the final stage in the USB Tour Cities will be take on in Chicago. Touring cars are now entered the finish line to see how several Crew 2 players are about to make their way and go for the line by having a regular and endurance for only 2 of them in a part of the separate location ever since we start out from week number 1 on New York City, Las Vegas, Nevada, Seattle, Washington, San Francisco, and of course to have other locations like Washington DC from last week. I guess this is going to get much more pretty excited after all the returning cars from the agency update. Just like the chase and the hunt from Motorplex Season 1 in the first and second episode. So I just also heard about the game will be coming back to have some 4 cars will be served to have some returning vehicles for each part of the date. So you guys might gonna have to keep an eye on them before we're about to be entered on the second episode to take on in the USB Tour Next will be racing and take place to be at Motorplex Arena. So I'm all set and good to go because live stream preparation is gonna have to take some time and go on standby to be served for this part of the content video, including this one will be set to be as an encore nomination pick. But not to mention because I'm just gonna have to still and just trying to get shape up and get focusing to do some related about racing. That's how I'm always gonna have to do it, and just gonna keep going up to have my main goal for my channel to be up to 1000. So I get everything to be set up between using with Ford and Ferrari cars. It's about to go for having a main part of the team summon will go adversary ever since from the 1960s 24 hours of Le Mans. As always, if you're new to my YouTube channel, be sure click the subscribe button, then leave a like and comment at the section down below. Check out the links on the description if you want to see more. Don't forget to click the bell for notifications on upcoming content videos in the later future. Now it is time to go and get ready for week number 8 in today's live summon. Let's begin. Well, Operation the agency from last week event, and especially for the USB Tour Cities on Washington DC, is absolutely to have a best racing track circuit in America's heart of the capital. Plus, and especially to have the agency tire is now being acquired to be on the platinum in rank 1,635th place in 1,287,361 points. Only one part of the content video to be served as a follow-up catch-up in District Dash without a replay. But of course, because this is how week number 8 of the challenge is about to enter and already reached to have some more motor stars by 20 times amount in 4 times. So it turns out to have 4 rewards, including 2 cars to be on the Ford Mustang GT Rallycross Edition, and the Ferrari F12 TDF is now being returned to have this part from the original. So there will be some more events and reruns, so we have to keep an eye out on each part of the schedule to be starting out to be on the next event on May 10th through the 17th, along with some other coming soon event. So only one more date left. Let's start out and go with some 3 skills. We'll have to go climb up to be in the main progress towards the platinum. After all, it will have to be much more fine preparation to do some 3 skills, and then 6 events on Ford and Ferraris are about to be set to be on no restriction, and 4 vehicles to be on exclusive. So let's start out to be on land. Going enter to be on the big land to be on the speed trap will be at the ready. So especially because I may not have a dragster Ford Mustang that I just really might need to get it. but it'll have to be much more fine preparation to choose any kinds of dragster vehicles to go at it. So take place to be in the aircraft cemetery in the Mountain States. The route's all clear, now's the time, and go perfectly to choose on the radius. Just to make one exact further notice, so I had to get much more fine preparation to get up and get settled in. So this position should be doing well. No oncoming traffic this time. Go by vehicle selection, do the discipline, and go with drag race. Alright, just going to go with the Chevy Camaro SS or the C7 Corvette Stingray. But gonna have to give her a pick because I'm not gonna have to go right into it, so I had to be burned up and get charged to be electrified. So there you go. All set and wait on hold to be launched in and go straight forward to be in the main part of the street. Full speed up ahead and okay, looks like that might be quite very obviously that I just messed it up. Sorry about that, folks. I just got a little bit carried away. Just going to get this live stream is still on the set. Just one simple second, so I just might need to get my expression to be a little bit much more up and go. Sorry about that. Just got a little bit much more frustration, so I never felt like this. Okay. Now, just going to go right over there to be on the main part of the straightaway, so I have to make one room, so I have to get the gas and tires to be smoke up and get burning up to be on the go. Looks like I just got one player to be well approved. So thank you for having a good endorsement with my UDRS livery. Let's go right up ahead and go speed in the nitro. Woohoo, yes, looks like one simple run, almost to be at 380 miles per hour. 379.9 miles per hour for sure, but one part is now cleared and thumbs up to be well checked by 120,483 points. One skill down, 2 to go, and be on standby is about to go on the water. So next up, go to the escape and head on over to be on the Hill County. Take place to be located in Texas. Well, I might have to short it because it might have to go locate right over there to be at the Great Plains. Let's take this path and go right over to be on the main set sail course. Nitrous is all set and good to go. Gonna have to keep away from the red zone. Just like that, and just going to be sure to choose any part of the current river trails whenever you might have to choose any suitable direction to be well expand onto the GPS. But the route guidance is going to have to get much more safer to be well okay. It's almost there to get closer. Gonna have to speed up and try not to get on land. Okay, that's one attempt clear. Ends up to be at 42.13 yards. Let's see the results. Not bad. Not bad after all. Ends up to be at 119,648 points. Skill 2 is now checked on the land, sea, and then the air will go by the low altitude to increase the chance of the multiplier. So let's go to Kings Canyon to be fly on in and soar to the low altitude to be on the vehicle restriction to be using on any airplanes. But not to mention, use the current rivers at any time, so you might gonna have to fly low and keep a good exact position. Setting up and use the Pilotus PC-21 to get much more enter in onto the bog. It gets a little bit deep, but now it's about to go clear on the realistic view. Talk about much more fine low altitude in the position, I guess. Kick it up and go. Try not to get caught in the rocks. Excellent position and going in. Gonna have to take over the bridge. Get back on the river. 10 seconds and going currently to be well checked and done. Alright, looks like 53,530. Hold on a second. Look at this, you guys. 53,338 points. All cleared and 156,310 points. That's how this part of the low altitude in the rerun on Brawn vs. Beauty is all about to have some 3 skills to do some practice and increase by the chance. So now, going enter to be on the bronze position in 44,160th place is now ready up and go to choose which kinds of series of street racing and touring car discipline for only 2 of them, and 4 to be categorized to have 1 hypercar, 1 drift, and 2 street race events. However, because I might gonna have to go down to do some quick filters to be doing some main part of the recommendation. So I had to go with Ford and Ferraris for this part of the video segment. Somehow, because I might gonna have to go and race on to be at Central Woods to Armelio for the Ferrari F12 Berline Enta 2013. So I have to go first because Ferraris will have to take the first one and then Ford will have to do the second. But 2 manufacturer brands ever since from Le Mans back in the 1960s is all about having a most fierce rivalry ever since to have 2 manufacturer brands. 1 Italian and 1 American cars to have the most finest adversaries throughout the decades. So I had to go in and use the UDRS Insportec livery to have this Crew 2 variation. But it turns out because I just already got the same kind of a variation from Gran Turismo 7 will be turns out to becoming very different, just like I just used to have the same variation from this game. So take place to be on the snow condition, so gonna have to be ready and take on with some good several road cars onto Ford and Ferraris. Let's kick it up and go faster in the acceleration on the main get-go. So you see, most Ford fans and Ferrari fans who ever been participate in this Steam Summon to be on the original from 2019 and the rerun for this year is all about choosing the best efforts and doing the best moments. But there's no way we can argue with that because Ford and Ferrari is all about having a best adversaries to be doing this part of the Steam Summon. But they always meant to be rivals, but always meant to become as true competitors to be on the same brand. Just gonna get in and go proceed on the main forward position on each part of the route in the checkpoint. But it sure does to get a little bit cold around here onto the outside to be located around in this area. But it takes place to be in the Midwest. But it'll have to get used to it because several Ford and Ferrari cars can actually gonna have to go faster to take the heat. Okay, gonna have to keep pressing on. Stay on the main route to do the same thing to be reached on over to be in Armelio. Okay, there goes the checkpoint cleared. Check and steady up on the asphalt. Halfway there by around in 50%. Gonna stay on track. This racing objective is all about driving faster between Ford and Ferraris. No need to distraction because I just still might need to speed up more. There we go. pressing on in 71% in the progression. Come on, just gonna kick that rear to be stay unstable. Okay, very nice. Very good clear check. Braking is all about making a good clean turn. Okay, keep on pressing, go forward. Now arriving in Armelio. Only one checkpoint to go. Finish line is now being spotted for only one more to go. So there you go. Looks like first place for the F12 Brawn Enta just took the time in 3 minutes 17.144 seconds to be received onto the main outcome onto 112,624 points. 4 parts are now being received with 3 comments and rare. Check and correction is the beauty of the Ferrari F12 Brawn Enta has now entered for only one event. So only one street race event is going to have to take place to go on over, so it'll have to get in to have Ford's turn to be raced on in to be in along the Mississippi. I kind of have to say, because 3 Ferraris and 3 Fords for this part of the video segment is going to have to get much more excited to be well in and go all out to have some best expression. So I had to go in to have some filters to be on the main selection. But good thing, just going to go by pick for myself, that I'm just going to have to go for it. Now, let's see which kinds of Ford and Ferrari cars that I have to go with a per level on 280. That would be a very good choice pick. 2005 Ford GT with a Gran Turismo LM Spec 2 race car. I'll have to go right in and choose this nice awesome touring car's version. But it's still treated as a street race discipline, but it also has a different kind of a modification to be classed as a touring car. So let's see how Ford's turn to be entered on event number 2.
You've got this! You're a rock star!
So let's make way and have the Gran Turismo LM Spec 2 race car to go for the lead. Ever since when Ford just actually to be designed as the first generation Ford GT, just like the GT40 back from the 1960s, to be well used to be participate in the 24 hours of Le Mans. Don't you ever see how 3 Ford GT40s in Le Mans to be actually to be served as a 1-3 finish? Incredible and outstanding to see that you guys might gonna have to watch this movie, Ford versus Ferrari. It's the most inspiring event based from the real life event. No matter how fans are being eager to watch this movie in the 21st century to be well remade and rememorized as a classic race car from the 20th century. But after all, because it still has a lot of good heritage for Ford itself to be driving on the track and putting up with some fine road cars like Ford Mustang, and the GT itself in the first generation was now being designed in 2005. But don't you ever mention about the concept version is now being shown in 2002? It still has a lot of good different performances ever since when the Ford GT40 has now been treated as a new generation model. But also as the second generation just actually to be came out in the 2010s to be suitable to have a nice fine fancy hypercar version is now being treated to be converted into a LM GTE category. Well, especially to have the GTE Pro category in the World Endurance Championship ever since to be raced in Le Mans back in 2016. So there you go. Looks like I still got this to be currently to be well drive up and go elevation. But the Ford GT first generation will have to go further because that has a lot of good spirit, that has a good heritage ever since they have all kinds of other Ford cars like the Focus, Tundras, and even the Ford Falcon is actually to have this part to be used in Australia. But especially the Ford Fusion is actually to be well treated to be served as well. Hang on 1 second, folks. I might gonna have to start over because my line's just barely messed up or only a bit. Okay, let's try this again and get my rehearsal to be bit shape. So how about a Ford GT 2005 with a Gran Turismo Emblem Spec 2 race car variation? But it has a lot of good exact taste to be served as a touring car version because it still has a street race discipline. So I had to give it a go and race on in to be in along the Mississippi. We'll have to go for having a first round for Ford ever since Ferrari just took one event. Let's give it a go. And just going to go for having a grid start in about 3 seconds until the Ford GT will have to make one best chance to go enter to be in the lead.
Go, go, go!
Let's step it up and make way for the Ford GT Emblem Spec 2 race car to go for the lead on the open road. Just like that, folks, ever since when Ferrari just now becoming the most fastest manufacturer brand in Le Mans before Ford steps in to take over ever since from the 1960s. However, because the Ford GT is now actually to be served as a first generation model was designed in 2005. Also to be served as a concept car is now being shown in 2002. But it has a lot of good chassis and different style and performance ever since the complete model just actually to be came out until putting up to have some different updated versions in the year 2006. The wing style, the custom parts, and all kinds of different variation, including this one, is now becoming the most popular icon in Gran Turismo 4. But it has a lot of good differences along with a Spec 2 version as a test car to the same Ford GT. But looks to me because in the Crew 2 to have this part of the Ford GT has actually to have this part of the street racing discipline. Just like the original from the first installment to have all kinds of custom parts to be labeled as a Perspect. Pretty much more fine horsepower, agile on the wing spoiler, and the parts is now being served to have this part of the correction and well exact by the difference just like the original variation to be served as a Group 3 category. But good thing putting up with some good correction is now being treated as a GT3 race car. So I'm about to go right in, go further with this Ford GT is now actually to go faster than ever. Go by the recovery, down onto the road, checkpoint currently by the clear. But I tell you guys, the 2005 Ford GT is a descendant of the Ford GT40 back from the 1960s, was actually to be served to have 3 Ford drivers to be achieved to have a 1-3 finish ever since from the 1960s in the 24 hours of Le Mans. But I bet you guys might gonna have to watch the movie Ford vs Ferrari, a true inspiration story based from a real life event. But I tell you, this movie is all about the best heritage in automotive history. But I tell you, because this is the most stunning, beautiful movie to be well made and giving a good rehearsal for the 1960s event. One classic competition and one base-inspired movie is all together to have the most popularity in motorsport history. So almost there, in about 8% left, and I'm in 92%. Just going to go in there and take that right corner to be on the final turn. Finish line is now checked and cleared. So that makes 3 minutes, 30.487 seconds on attempt number 1. Well, top that for Ferrari for sure, but 106,098 points is going to have to get much more better at this time. But one street race event to be served as a no restriction. But very good to have all kinds of Ford vehicles, just like the Ford GT, Focus, and even all kinds of Ford Mustang GTs, like the classic and modern muscle cars. So, gonna have to go back and do a Ferrari to take on in a hypercar event with a forced vehicle by using the F12 TDF. Going to Vegas, baby! This is how a forced vehicle is about to be set and yet temporarily to be on loan. But I'm sure of it, because every different edition cars are now being related and being reverted to be on the main part of the default settings. So per level to go back to be at 242, 769 horsepower in the top speed, 210 miles per hour. Just like last time from the previous live summon to be featured with this car, but this one is a true updated version from the F12 Berline Anta to be classed from a street racing to a hypercar discipline. This beauty is about to go all out yellow. Let's go.
I'll stop talking so you can start driving.
So, looks like it's about to get wet on the outside. The weather is clear. Wet surfaces are about to get much more slippery to get challenging, so let's give it a good improvements and well challenging for the F12 TDF. TDF is now being pronounced as Tour de France, but very good correction to see how this most updated version to the Ferrari F12 is now actually to have this part of the custom parts to be well served to be labeled as a summit reward. But good thing I already got it, because this car is now being acquired for the new Group 2 players and just going to keep racing on forward to be participate whenever each part of the deemed summon is going to get this car to be available for free. So going in, enter to be arrive in Barstow, stopping at 20% in the progression. Just going to keep sliding around and then you're all good. Yeah, very good to be well smoothed up to be doing some power slide. Just going to get there and go climb up to increase the main amount of pace. So it's all about just going to give your bets and suggestions about Ford and Ferrari cars for this part of the Deemed Summit. But after all, because challenges were made, it's going to get much more easier and much more harder as it looks to be. So 6.733 seconds on the gap, just going to keep going faster and stay on the 7th gear. Now arrive in Mojave, just going to keep going forward. Stay on the highway of the road, focusing on to the next checkpoint to get close in and going enter at the Mojave Desert. But not to worry folks, because I'll have to get this part of the content video to be served as an encore to do some minor changes and fix for myself. So you see, the technique is gonna have to keep a good flow, faster paced strategy is going to keep on going and make your way towards the runabout before making a shortcut to get there. But the quickest way is gonna have to get much more fine competent to do a weld motion. But it'll have to get much more proven up to see how the F12 TDF can actually gonna have to go in and cut through on the roundabout. Easiest way to get there by having a quick time to go improve with a chance of 100,000 points. So here it is. I'm going right in to jump right now. That's the spirit. Almost there to be arriving in Las Vegas. perfect time to go in daytime and a slightly challenging to be on the wet surface after having some hours on the rain. Keep going by the highway. You'll have to make one simple stop to get over onto the exit. I can hardly wait before the next event in USST Tour Next is going to get much more beyond competition with Alpha Grand Prix. Gonna have to stay on track on the right side of the highway. Checkpoint all cleared. Going through, all in and all out. There you go. Looks like just gonna have to feel the flow. And the tougher time it goes, the shortcut will have to get more likely to get in towards the finish line. So here we are, folks. One run and total time is 4 minutes 46.460 seconds. Still got a lot of good confident emotion to see how Ferrari just took the second point in the lead. 114,550 points is now cleared for having a forced field goal by driving with an F12 TDF. But it's not over yet because one hypercar is going to get much more proven up to be faster and well beauty. And for that beauty, and that means only one drip event in the Ford Mustang GT Fastback will go all out in the Brawn. That's right, you guys. The Ford is the Brawn and the Ferrari is the beauty. Give or take, that's how the brains and much more passive is going to get more aggressive to take place to be in the West Commercial Bushimura event. I really hope it's about to go all out muscle car brawl out. It's going to get much more driftier as it goes. Hang on 1 second, give me a water. Okay, where was I? Looks like it's about to get tougher and going stronger to be well brawn to have the Ford Mustang GT Fastback Drip Edition with a UDRS Insportec, just like the first car to have the same variation. Different entities altogether because 1081 horsepower in the top speed, 167 miles per hour will have to go much more intermediate on the handling. So let's find out and let's give it a go to see how one Brawn Mustang GT can actually to be well proven to be on the main part and going challenging to be on the top grip. So let's get it on and step it up to do some drift. Yeah, looks like field to be tougher as it goes. Just gonna take some slight turns, do some more grip, and doing some more speed agile. So I had to keep a good holdout because number of chain combos is all I need to do. Time is the essence for the Ford Mustang. That's how UDRS most priority objective is going to stay drift for only much more longer in one event. Yeah, keep up the good grip and do some low speed. Very close, but objective complete for exactly in 116,145 points. Gonna have to take much more chain combo in about 1 minute left. Ah, good grief. Sometimes Ford Mustang always gets the Brawn because the tougher it gets, the tougher it should going to get much more stronger. So that makes 143,761 points. hang on folks. Gonna have to try this again and get my rehearsal act work together a bit because I'm still in progress to do this recording. Okay, let's try this again. It's about to get much more tougher and going full Brawn to have the Ford Mustang GT Fastback Drip Edition with a UDRS Insportec that shares the street racing version. 1081 horsepower in the top speed, 167 miles per hour will go for having some tough choices to be on an intermediate on the handling. So let's find out and get tough enough to go work things up a bit. Will have to be much more challenging to go extreme measures. One race, one drift, and one fast majority to have the Ford Mustang will go longer and harder to take. Let's prep it up and get ready to roll. Alright, looks like putting up with some tough handling and going much steeper agile. So I have to be sure to have that chain combo. Will have to stay much more longer. Avoid hitting the walls. That's how the Ford Mustang does not want this to be allowed. Yeah, very good. Gonna have to keep up a good passive. Okay, that's one simple skill. Just going to try this again on take two, folks. I just might need to get much more focused because my eyes are about to get watering. Just hang on. Let me do my part. So, just gonna have to keep a good recording in progress. Alright. Okay, where was I? Gonna try this again and think things through. By the tougher times for the Ford Mustang GT Fastback in the drift discipline, will get much more heavier, faster, and tough handling to stay on the main agile for only one event will go all out Brawn. But the per level to be currently to be maxed out in 240 on the handling to be well expert between two choices on the easy and stopping in to have this middle part of the circle. Sorry about that. Got carried away. I'll have to keep a promise because this video will have to keep a good reassuring to have this part of the encore. By having a one-tub drip event for the Ford Mustang GT Fastback 2015 Drip Edition will go all out Brawn to have my UDRS Insportec variation. Per level is now maxed out at 240 to go. Handling is now on intermediate. 1081 horsepower and top speed 167 miles per hour. So let's find out and give it a go because this part of the challenge will go tougher and maximum Brawn. And by that Brawn, a tough chances will have to stay much more longer to have this part of the speed, grip, and agile to have a good style of perfection. So let's do this and go heavy drifting to go pedal to the metal. There we go. Looks like going tougher and just going to keep a good boost up onto the main parts. Because currently to have that point to stay on over, so don't get slowed down to be on the straightaways. Just going to keep it up and stay on the slide handling to get in and get out. So I had to start over and putting up with some chain combo. Alright, there we go. Gonna have to stay on grip. Sliding is more important rather than doing some straightaways. It's only down to a minute left. Gonna keep going. Yeah, gonna have to keep proving up and get tougher. Main part of the objective is done and complete. $30 left. I know this event is going to get much more brawnier as it looks for the Ford Mustang. Okay, that's more like it. Stay on the main combo. Do some more work. 10 seconds before this event is over. Alright. 289,358 points. Looks like I'm a man, and a very tough event is going currently to be maxed out in 123,832 points. Looks like Ford just actually did a perfect time and go exactly by the achieve. So that makes 4 events cleared. Next up, touring car discipline is about to get in and much more suitable by the choice. So I had to go enter by having a touring car event by the no restriction at the Giants Chainbug Cup first part, and just gonna go enter by having some series with street racing with Ford and Ferrari cars before touring car will be takeover for the next turn. So I really bet putting up to have some best recommendation to go with Ford or Ferrari will have to be on the max per level. However, because I'm not gonna have to go and choose any kinds of best Ferrari cars will be much more suitable to be well capable. Starting out to have some GTE Pro category class might have to go in currently to have the 488 GT3 2016 made by Ferrari will go first, and then the Ford GT Le Mans race car will do the second. We're almost there, and I'm about to get much more suitable to be doing a tiebreaker in this part of the Team Summon. Just wait to see how it turns out, because one Ferrari in the touring car discipline will go first, take place, and go for the rain condition.
You're gonna win this easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Alright. Time to go down and keep it up to have this main part of the GTE Pro category for the 488 GT3. First place, here I come. Watch out for the rain. It's about to get slippery for the racing compound tires. Only in Gran Turismo 7 and Gran Turismo Sport, that will be much more impossible to have the racing slick tires. Is going to be a very tough to handle. .6 seconds on the main current position in the gap. Gonna have to keep going, because going Italian style Lissimo style is gonna have to keep a good amount of pace. Okay. Minor setback. I know this is gonna get a little bit caught my guard. Okay, sector clear. Going proceed and find a good line. I'll be right back, folks. I just might need to get my eyes and my expression to be checked. Okay, that's better. Let me try this again and get myself to be under control. Okay, now let's try this again and resume. Putting up the limits between Ford and Ferrari in the touring car discipline, so I had to be sure to have one event by the no restriction will be entered to choose either Ford or Ferrari. So I had to start out and use the Ferrari 488 GT3 2016 with a different kind of a livery variation is now being categorized as a GTE Pro. So I had to be sure and just gonna wait to be on standby before the Ford GT Le Mans race car will be calling in before enter to take on for having a combo event after one event in the same touring car class. Hold on. 1 second, folks. I just got messed up.
3.
Sorry about that. I just got a little bit carried away by taking too much interruption. It's not my cup of tea. Let me restart and do this on take 3. Okay, gonna have to resume it. Go for the touring car discipline. As you may ever choose between Ford or Ferrari in the touring car discipline for only 2 events, plus a combo event is now being set and waiting for us for the Ford GT Le Mans race car. So I had to start out and use the Ferrari 488 GT3 2016 with this kind of a livery variation in the GTE Pro category. Per level is now being maxed out on 320, same power and top speed is now going maximum to the limit. But it's about to get challenging to be on the wing. Hold on, let's try this again. At least no one didn't notice I was just gonna have to do this live stream recording in session. Let me resume it. Man, I just had a tough day. Tough day that I just really need to drink some green tea to calm myself down. So let me try this again on take 4. I know it's gonna have to take forever. It'll have to get this perfectly and much more handled. Take 2, resume. When it comes in to have 2 touring car versions in the Ford and Ferrari to be entered for this part of the Team Summon as a rerun. So you guys might gonna have to choose between Ford or Ferrari after this because I might gonna have to go with the 488 GT3 2016 with this kind of a different livery variation in the GTE Pro category. So I have to be sure and start out with Ferrari first and then second for the Ford GT Le Mans race car in the combo event. So I hope you guys won't stick around because putting up with some changes and much more well perspective, so I had to get down to it. But it's about to get rain and go enter for only 1 race will get challenging and beat the surface to be on the racing compound tires.
You're so gonna win this one.
So here I go. Down the track I go and proceed over to have this part of the layout to be on the configuration. Alright, very good. Looks like the racing compound tires still might need to do some extra careful when racing on the rain. Just like Gran Turismo Sport and Gran Turismo 7 to have the racing compound tires might be very challenging to be well handled. But it is going to be quite very impossible because of the heavy wet surface on the track. As every season for Ferrari to be take part in the FIA World Endurance Championship, but still has a lot of good racing experience to be served as a GTE Pro category ever since when the Ferrari 458 Italia GT3 before the 488 steps in to be serving as the same GT3 class category. But still got a lot of good handling, speed, and performance just like the 458 Italia GT3 and especially for the GT2 category in the Crew 2. But it still has a lot of good speed potential to be classed as a touring car discipline just like the hypercar version to the original. Just going to keep driving forward and stay on in because currently to be entered on lap number 2 before entered to be finished before proceed on to lap number 3. So let's keep trying and find a good line to be well faced to be surviving in a rain condition if any vanity tires is going to get much more suitable to be well helpful, that will have to face much more fine conditions to overcome many obstacles. So Nitro is all set and good to use. There we go. Just going to climb up and keep up the good progression. Sector cleared by the checkpoint. Now just going to go right in and keep going straight. Very good. Just like that, and stay on touch a bit to have the apex to be well served and do this performance on the line. Almost there, you guys. I'm at 86% in the progression. Just going to go enter to be proceed towards the finish line in about one more lap to go remaining. But this one is the final lap. Just going to keep a good reminder to be on the main progression and stay on over. So up I go. Proceed to the final corner for doing a one last stretch. Finish line has now achieved to be entered in first place. Total time is 3 minutes, 33.111 seconds. Not bad, very good, and 3 points for Ferrari, and that makes 2 points for Ford. But it's not over yet because the tiebreaker is about to come to its conclusion. It's about to get much more closer for only one more event. One more event after one touring car to be received in 111,822 points. Climb up and currently to be on the goal position in 13,834 place. I'm almost there to get up to the platinum, you guys. I can feel it, and going surpassing to have some more followers to be at 400,000. So let's go to Miami racetrack for the Ford GT Le Mans race car in the first rerun in Brawn vs. Beauty. I can feel it and get set to be well competitive to be racing to have the most fine original variation on 2016 model in the Ford GT Le Mans race car. By the difference and comparison to the 2018 model to have a very good excellent Group 3 regulation. For the GTE Pro category in the 2016 model is now actually to have a car number 68. And for the GT LM in the 2018 model is now being served to be well participate in IMSA series. But this car is actually to be well exclusive and race on over to have two motorsport series like the WEC and IMSA. But I kind of think because the per level is now going update to be on the maximum in 320 that has 710 horsepower in the top speed, 248 miles per hour. Handling is going much more intermediate to have this much fine choice to be on the easy or expert. So I had to try it out and give it a go to see how a Ford GT Le Mans race car is now actually to become as a different kind of the Group 3 category. But speaking of which, this challenge will be facing with some Alpha Grand Prix race cars.
Come on, you can do it!
Brace yourself, looks like Ford is about to be challenging with some Alpha Grand Prix race cars. So I had to get in there and go for first place in the lead.
Look out, suckers! We're in first place!
I didn't notice this race is going to be quite challenging for having some tough challenge for Ford. We'll be racing with Alpha Grand Prix race cars. Good thing this challenge is all about test your skills and prove your best work to take on with Ferrari. I can't say about this GTE Pro variation that has a very good exact match to be well seen in the 2016 World Endurance Championship. But until in the year 2018 for this second gen Ford GT race car. it is now being perfectly to be well participate in IMSA because it has a lot of good different performance and a style to be well served to have all kinds of different livery variations. But hop on the inside to this interior view. This one is definitely might be becoming very much more different to the 2018 GT L1 race car is now being shown. But good thing I just already got this car to be added to the car index on Gran Turismo 7 before it turns into a UDRS Inspirtech livery for myself. Well, I bet it does because it might have the 2016 model to be circled around with this car is now being served to have this much more priority to become as a Group 3 category. So for this part of the challenge, all you might need to do is going to stay in first place without letting the Alpha Grand Prix race cars without being overtake. Just going to keep on racing, stay clean, and be much more specifically careful whenever you might need to see the apex to get in onto the part of the advantage. Here comes the hairpin. Pull that throttle to get over it. It feels like the Ford GT Le Mans race car is challenging with the LMP1 race cars. But still got a lot of good historic racing moments from the 2010s before the Le Mans hypercar took over in the 2020s. So here comes the third lap. Gonna have to give it and pull on in to have this part of the corner to stay on the line. So here comes the final lap. But I'm very sure of it because every event comes in as usual for only 3 laps in the Alpha Grand Prix discipline. But good thing the Ford GT Le Mans race car is going to be a very good place to have the first challenge for myself. Then I'll have to prove it and just going to have to make one best tiebreaker between Ford and Ferrari in this team summit. Because the best outcome comes in to make the last. Ford and Ferrari will have to make the difference to have 3 points for only 3 events is now being lined up and go for having a main tiebreaker. So here comes the final sector. Alright, there we go. Just going to keep going forward. Aim towards the finish line to keep away from the Alpha Grand Prix racers. And there we go. 3 minutes, 53.289 seconds is now cleared and set to be well done. Very good. 117,751 points without having a follow-up catch-up. And that means one team summon in the rerun is about to be officially complete. Very good job. Very good job and perfectly for this part of the team summon is all set and good to go to be climb up to be on the platinum in rank 5,399 in about 23 hours left. Just in time before moving on to take on in episode 2 in the 8 Motorflix season, we'll be racing in the USST Tour Next. We'll be at the Motorflix Arena. But I can feel it, folks. I can feel it, and just gonna have to make a perfect moment to get some more currency bucks to get over to have some more parts of the Motor Pass content bundle is now going premium. But at the time, because 1 million is gonna have to climb up to do some farming work. But I know it's been a while because I've just been working so much to do all kinds of upcoming content videos by the development. But just wait, folks, because as a promise, I'll have to be sure as always to get up in about 4 million bucks between for having some main current icon points. But after all, every part of the theme summon makes the best time to go with brand new, and reruns are now being served as well to have some new Crew 2 players who had to take this part of the theme summon and rerun just like Brawn vs Beauty. And for the outcome, 3 Fords and 3 Ferraris in each part of the event is now going for the tiebreaker is perfectly for doing the best part of the moment. So give your thoughts and questions about the theme summon in Brawn vs. Beauty. It's all about Ford and Ferrari cars with a series of street racing and pro racing disciplines, except 3 skills is now currently to be on the land, sea, and air all together. So, gonna have to be ready to wrap this up before at the end of the video. 2 cars are now being served to have 1 received collectible and extra earnings, like the Ferrari F12 TDF is now going to be checked and acquired for only expert players and new ones, whoever didn't get this one for free. But there will be some more events that we have to find out by coming soon. So I hope you enjoyed watching the live stream video in the Crew 2. Thank you for watching. Be sure to click the subscribe button for a like, comment, and click the bell for notifications on upcoming content videos if you'd like to see. Don't forget to check it out on any social media platforms like Deeper Than Art, Twitter, Instagram, GT Planet, and more to see for my own image artwork like UDRS liveries, Fish and Total Drama fan art with card liveries, and more whenever you're welcome at any time. I'll be see you guys next time for continue on in the live summoning event in the Crew 2, and I look forward to see you again in the next video before moving on in episode 2 in the 8 Motorflix season in the USB Tour Next after episode 1 from the USB Tour cities. Keep on racing, stay clean, and good luck out there folks. Have a great day.